What's going on? It's your boy Ricky here, back with another VWAP Wednesday. It is 10:41 in Atlanta, and we're gonna be looking at some previous price action. See what the VWAPs did as we came down last Wednesday. We were talking about, we literally opened up last Wednesday at the top, and at the time it didn't look like this. But if you had the Hikinashi on, that's another thing I gotta mention. The Hikinashi versus the regular candles do give a different result because the Hikinashi are calculated different and calculated in average versus the candles are real time. But when this first opened up on the low time frame, it literally opened up green over yellow over purple over red, and at the time the VWAP wasn't down here. It was, oh yeah, it was down here. It opened up on the opposite side of the daily VWAP. And if you go back and look at the last Wednesday video, you can see where I said, hey, we might be coming down. So I was thinking we were going to come down to this previous day VWAP, but we made a stop there. But you know, that ended up breaking. So we slammed through the daily VWAP and played around here, and it wasn't clear to get long until these VWAPs started to flip. This would have told us to get long. This would have told us to get back out of the long and look short. And the real long was a while away. We're just getting to that a week later in price action, where we did get long down here on Solana. I did tell people in the Discord, you can go hop in the Discord, the chat is free, by the way. I did tell my folks in the Discord, the snipers, hey, we're getting some movement, and we got long down here. This is what, yeah, we got long down here at open, and then it played around for a while. But as it was playing around, the daily VWAP started going up, and these were being pulled back down. So we did get a retest of this and ended up getting stopped, but ended up getting back long. At least I did in Solana. I'm gonna look at Solana in a second too. So right now, we still need a little bit more information, but on the low time frame right now, you can see that we're above the daily on the hourly as of right now. I'll show y'all a little sneak peek of my other indicator I'm working on right now. Not the hit hunter. Y'all can get the hit hunter, but the cloud. So this is a VWAP cloud. It's got a little money flow in it and a couple other little knick-knack paddywhack things. So we came up here to the, I want to say, what is this? Yeah, our week to date leapfrog anchor VWAP, and rejected pretty clean. We really didn't even get no divergence in here for real. Even though the Oath Keeper did tell you, well, this is the 1 minute, so you can take everything with a grain of salt, but the Oath Keeper was telling you, hey, we're probably finna reverse. And that's what we're doing. But if we hold this cloud, this VWAP right here, this is the 12-hour VWAP, so it's designed to keep you in the trend. So, but we'll talk about it on another video. I haven't even dropped this yet. But yeah, one or two things happening right now. This is it. This is all we get. We come down a little lower down here and retest these previous day VWAPs. So this hourly VWAP will end up resetting up under here in some form or fashion. and then we continue up, or this was just a bearish retest. Yesterday was just a bounce that we were getting, and we're about to head lower, and this is about to start. I don't like that. And so forth. And we're about to come make some new lows. So if you didn't get short up here, which they really didn't give you any time to get short up here. Cause like this is all of today's and yesterday's price action. It was a good long if you got long today, but us rejecting on the weekly like that is concerning, to say the least. Let's see, did we reject with volume? So where's my volume at? So another indication that of us getting long, we came down here and gave us divergence on the 1 hour, since we needed to talk about divergence. There it is right there. And if you don't know what divergence is, we came in here, made a lower low, but the RSI didn't make a lower low. The RSI didn't come down here and take this low out. This low came out here and took this low out, and that was your indication to get long. But right now, it's one of two things gonna happen. We can either come down here and bounce on the VWAP and continue up, or this is about to start stair-stepping his way down. I'm not 100% bullish or bearish. It's just giving, looking at it from both perspectives. But we did get this big liquidation right here. Wasn't as big as this one, which led us into a bleed. But usually when we get these kind of liquidations, we'll come back and retest it and then go. We'll give you another entry to get long. So maybe they're just gonna play around right here for a while. This is concerning, hourly. Last time we got one of these, it took 6 candles for the trend to come back to, what VWAP is this? Is it here? To our monthly VWAP, and then continue down. So, if anything that needs to happen, we need to break out. This needs to be a retest of this, and then we need to get up and go here if the bulls want to stay in control. If not, then we're probably finna fall back in this channel, which everybody's been pointing out, and probably about to come back down here to 101 on the higher time frame. But that's in the cards. 107 stopping, 101, we got spider lines. $107, 223. So, man, the cloud is telling us we need to be short. man, I'm looking at this in real time with y'all, so I'm over here having thoughts while I'm looking at this. Like, we got, this is pretty good selling right here. Like, and I was saying earlier in FG's group and in the snipers group, like on Solana, we had this whole move up, and yeah, we bounced here, but we bounced with no volume. Like, usually when we bounce, we want to bounce with volume. We bounce with volume. And when we don't bounce with volume, we end up going up and coming back down. And at least right here, we had a little volume to show us, hey, that this was a reversal, but we didn't even get that over here. We did get a little volume come in this morning that pushed us up here, but I'm pretty sure if I turn on the, let's see, I'll turn on the vectors. Yeah, so turn on the vectors, and now we got a candle, a green candle to come back and recover. So they could come down here, take this whole move back. It's just chop, man. It's just, and then start going up. That would break us out of this channel. Or this was the top, and we need to be looking down. I don't know which direction to tell you because I trade level by level. So I can only say, hey, let's go to the low time frame and look for some trades. And right now you can see we got our daily leapfrog and our daily mini VWAP stacked on top of each other. And until right now we're forming on the low time frame, this cloud might form for a while. We might, until price decides to VWAP, flip to VWAPs on the hourly, you know. It can do that for the rest of Asia, going into London, and then in New York, we either see, or I don't mean to be so extreme, but like, that's what I'm thinking. Other than that, I guess I have one more idea on Bitcoin. Oh no, this is Sol, huh? And then that will just bring the daily VWAP up. While this starts forming and coming back under it to start stair stepping its way back up while the daily is still up above it. And that could happen. So like I said, we got time to figure it out for New York. I'd be looking at, if I had to look at some levels, if price doesn't hold this cloud. Well, this is Solana, so yeah, we'll talk about Solana. If price doesn't hold this cloud, let's look at a 10-minute. Let me come back down here. If price breaks down out of this cloud, we'll send an alert. Maybe we come back down here and retest a weekly. We come any lower than that, I mean, I'm thinking we're gonna come lower. If we come any, if we break, if the weekly, this is the weekly, let me make sure. yeah, if this weekly anchor VWAP doesn't hold, we're coming lower, and it probably won't be straight down, so you have plenty of time to get short, but that'd be 182. If 182 doesn't hold for Solana, then yeah, we're probably coming lower. Let's look at Bitcoin. I don't want to make a long video. But yeah, you see we're getting pretty good rejection on Bitcoin, so. And the cloud is trying to flip. Bursch. So if they drag it out all night, they don't just pump it. You know, that's all the way up until 2:30, 4 o'clock. We've been getting moves around 4 or 5 o'clock my time. And then, you know, they either take it all back at the beginning of New York and then continue that move, or just continue it straight up in New York with a small pullback. So things to look out for. Bitcoin breaks back in here, then we can kind of almost assume that we're going lower, and we need to be looking for lower. I'm going to have to redo my spider lines on my other chart, on this chart, because it is not on here anymore. And I have some different spider lines I drew a different way on this chart, which will still have us coming back down to 109. So we kind of need for this to hold. We kind of need for this to hold. This cloud, we don't need to get below, or we don't need to break. Like, we need to stay in 113. We lose it 113.58. It's safe to say it could be a fake out, but it could mean more down. I would like to see honestly, I would like to see this either start getting up and going right now, or look at that. So I've only really been trading Bitcoin and Solana for real. One, because MEXC's got 0 fees on Solana. I did trade Link. Okay, so one more thing I want to say before I get off about VWAPs, about the mini Vs. Get rid of these. If you can't look at the mini VWAPs and figure out what's going on, then you just need to relax. You know, in hindsight, you can see perfectly where you could have taken trades, you know. And sometimes that's just the way the game goes. You're not gonna catch every trade, but when the daily's opening, I like to switch to the Heikin-Ashi and go down to the 1 minute to see how things are forming, because it's a little different than the regular candles. See, on the daily, they're all squeezing together right now. Versus yesterday when price started on the daily, it literally started like this: red, purple, orange, green. And then that's when I was like, well, shit, we need to be getting long. And it chopped around for a while. I was telling one of my friends in the group, you know, when it opens up like this, it kind of scared me because when it first opened up, it was just red and green. You know, you don't get the other hourly VWAPs until they form. And when it first opened up, the red was closer to the green. And that was making me think, hey, we were probably price was probably finna come up above. But as price started moving up, the hourly VWAP stayed down here versus coming up above the daily, which was, hey, this is probably a good long. And it ended up being a good long. Shoot, what did I do? I'm tripping. That's XRP. I drew this XRP squiggle in the group. The squiggle game is crazy. Yeah, took that link long, ended up closing that. This is where's the soul? I gave this soul long a long time ago, but I gave it to everybody like 3 or 4 days ago. And yeah, we ended up closing that. I was making a joke about it. What day was this? On the 15th. Market maker's gonna take it all back. And then I gave the level that I was looking for, and then lo and behold, I had posted this in the group. I'm like, man, no, that's FG. Hold on, where is the? Here it is. Man, I'm annoying. Came all the way back down, took these vectors out, and bounced. And that's what gave us our entry. Came right to it, played on it, and then finally took off. And I just closed majority of that. I'll post it on YouTube. But yeah. I think that's gonna wrap it up for VWAP Wednesday. One thing I can say is if you're struggling to find the trend, if you're afraid to pull the trigger because you think that price is gonna keep dumping or whatever, this is probably the best way to keep you level-headed. Because right now, all I'm seeing is if this doesn't get back above here, if this doesn't start shaping up and this flips this daily, then I'm probably gonna flip short here soon. But I'm still in, I got like a little bit of my Solana long left, but I'm pretty much out of all my longs right now. And I didn't get any longs, but I think we're gonna get another move. We're gonna get another chance to get long. Or we're gonna get another chance to get short. Either way, we're gonna find a trade somewhere. Not gonna force it though, you know. Okay, I'll say this. So, like if you go back to the last week's video, you'll see at the top how they opened up. And it's the complete opposite of this. Red opened up at the top or at the bottom, and the other VWAPs opened up at the top. And it was an instant dump. It was the same thing on Ethereum. It was pretty much the same thing across the board. They opened up wide, really wide from each other. When they open up closer to each other, I'm more inclined for continuation. But when they open up this wide, and we know price needs to come back to the daily VWAP, then we need to be looking for that. And this never tried to flip this. It was just more down. Came down here, gave you a long. Started flipping it, you would have been looking to get short for continuation down. Like I said, I know it's easier to see in hindsight, but this is in real time. You go to the 10-minute when you get these formations, like, yeah, you would, if you wouldn't have gotten the divergence right here, I'm pretty sure this is divergence. Yeah. If you wouldn't have got the divergence here, you could have been, you could have attempted to get long or short. You could have attempted to get long and, why do I keep saying that? You could have attempted to get short up here once our daily got above all of our other VWAPs. It gave you 1, 2, bunch of times up here, and then the retest of this, knowing that this is still above, would have been like, hey, we need to be coming down, and we're not getting out of our short until our hourly gets back under our daily and under our other VWAPs for good confirmation that, hey, we're finna go up. But this faked us out. Now, this wasn't a good one. This was a good fake out. But this also was an opening, a new day opening. So when we know the trend is down and our new VWAP started forming down here, I can't 100% say that the hourly VWAP started forming right here and not somewhere else right here, because like I said, it's real time and it changes over time. But if and only if these hourly VWAPs were still forming up here on the Heikin-Ashi and this daily was down here, then hey, we knew the retest of these previous day VWAPs was the continuation down, which we never, for the rest of the day, still didn't come below our daily VWAPs, and you could have took another short down for continuation on ETH. And you could have just did that until we finally got the flip. When we finally got the flip, you see what happened. We got the flip, came back, retested it, and we're still under the daily. That would have been your entry to get long. I hope that all makes sense. If you got any questions, concerns, you can drop them in the comments or hop in the Discord. It is free. The chat is free. There's a paid version, $20 a month, where I'm giving trades and I'm helping. I am helping. Because I want to see us all succeed, man. I'm nowhere in my trading journey where I want to be, and my come up is everybody come up. But I do put a lot of time and effort into this stuff, so gotta charge a fee.